and Thriving with Rustie, and I'm Rustie. I normally host an international radio talk show, inspiring the mind, body, and the soul, hopefully motivating people to find things that inspire them, excite them, and allow them to be the best version that they can be. Life is a series of things and experiences, and sometimes we have dark times, sometimes we have great times. The show's intention is to definitely raise your spirit, get you moving, get you out there, encourage you to do what it is that makes you happy and what fires up your soul and gets you excited. During the pandemic, I have decided to do a visual version of the show. I wanted to introduce you to some of my dearest friends who I love and adore and are very inspirational, and they do so much for the community that I had to share. And I hope that you appreciate them as much as I do. And definitely their information will be below. And today's guest is LuEllen Miller, and she's fun and feisty and extremely creative. And so I wanted to share a little bit about what she does with you and find out what she's doing to take care of herself during the pandemic. It isn't easy for a lot of people right now. And the more tools that we have in place and the more people that are sharing what they're doing, the better we are. So let me pull her on. I am so excited about having you here, LuEllen. I want you to tell us who you are, what you do, and what motivates you to be you.
Okay, thank you, Rustie, for having me. I really appreciate it. It's great to be able to talk to you and anyone else this might help. I am an executive assistant for my full-time job. Luckily, I have a job that until further notice. It's really busy working from home. It's been an adjustment. But more importantly, for my personal enjoyment, I'm an artist. I've been creating since I was about 4 years old. My first box was 64 crayons, and it's been uphill ever since. When my kids were in late high school and college, I went to the School of the Art Institute and earned a certificate in drawing. It's just for my own personal, just a goal and a goal that I wanted to achieve. I'm also a teacher of art. Rustie, you and I know each other through celiac group. I used to facilitate a in-person celiac group for about 7 years, and now that group is online with Facebook. It's more informative now. I don't have sessions or meetings, but it's a great resource for people who need that kind of information. What motivates me is helping other people. I also, as part of my art life, I curate a monthly artist playing card exchange, which is collages on playing cards. And every month I compile a list of people who want to participate. It's about almost 50 people a month, and we send cards all around the world. So it's a lot of fun. It's pardon me?
I said you actually gifted me one a number of years ago.
That's right.
And I carried it. I carried it and carried it and carried it, and like a dope, one day went through the washing machine, and so my heart was broken because it was like my little good luck charm, you know.
I'll have to make you another good luck charm.
Thanks.
I'll take care of that.
But what it represented for me is the value of listening, kindness, and positivity, which you've always demonstrated throughout every aspect of your life that I know of. You've always, to me, been a shining example of a woman, the way a woman should be. And I love the artwork that you do. Do you happen to have one near you to show?
Oh boy.
No pressure.
Yes. Let me get it real quick.
Okay. These are so much fun, and you know, one artist to another. This is something that you could totally do during this time And I'm sure you'll have directions, a website or something that they can go on to kind of view and have fun with it.
It is a lot of fun. Here's one of the cards. Let me see if you could see it.
Oh, that's
very
groovy.
clearly.
Look
That's
at that.
called a collaboration. And what that means is someone started it, Jude Asher in this case, and I finished it, and I'll mail it back to her.
Is that a woman as a bird?
No, it is just a bird.
Oh, see, I got like a little silhouette of a woman, but that's just my imagination.
Oh, you know what? I see that. Yeah. So I guess you could use your imagination to interpret these. So they're important to me because they're fun, but they're also important to the people that participate because it's something small that they can create with minimal supplies, and it serves as a diversion or as an inspiration. A lot of times when they're stuck on their other art that they're working on, they'll work on these little cards, and that's their feedback to me. So it's important to me that I inspire everybody, and I'm always fully supportive. There's no critique, you know. It's fun. That's fun, and we've connected through Facebook and through email. Some of us have met each other. Some of us have met other people. It's like pen pals back in the day.
Yep.
It's a lot of fun. And then with the quarantine during the pandemic, we keep in touch with each other. How are you doing? What are you doing? It's a really great social tool as well.
Well, here's my question. Why did you think of doodling on a playing card? I never thought of that.
Actually, it's collaging, but I was inspired by Liz Cohn, who I did 100-month postcard exchange years ago, and Lynn was a member of that. And then in the meantime, she had gotten me involved with the playing cards as a collaborator. And she's had a couple of shows, and I collaborated with her and many artists that she connected me with. Well, once I got to that 100th month, I asked Liz, do you think it's okay if I do that the playing card exchange? She was like, I'm all for it. So actually, her and we've had 5 group shows with those cards. We have about 3,500 of them, of her collection and my collection. The last show was in last April of 2019, and I'm trying to get another brick and mortar show. I'm not sure that's going to happen. It's definitely not going to happen right now. But she's the one that inspired me. She's the one that got me going. And there's a joke among our group that you better watch out, because once you start, you're hooked, you're addicted.
You're addicted, yeah. That's what happened to me with Scrabble. I have 25 Scrabble games going on right now, and I don't know if I should, call somebody. Twitch. So give me an idea of what you're doing during this pandemic. I know that a lot of people are feeling like the walls are closing in, and the whole intention behind this little mini series is to get tips and tricks and ideas of things that we can do that can be motivational, inspiring. I mean, I'm currently working on the 9th rearrangement of my house, and I'm looking at putting vertical beds in, because I haven't done that part yet. But Chloe's not too happy with the staple gun, so maybe it'll be duct tape. I don't know. So we've had a lot of fun. We've done a lot of gardening and things like that. But inspire us. What do you want to do? What are you doing?
Well, I am working, pretty much 40 hours a week, so that keeps me busy during the week. I'm very privileged. I realized that to be able to work from home, but it isn't easy. You have to stay concentrated, so that takes a good part of the day. I take little breaks, do a load of laundry or something. What's keeping me going really is some of these new the ways of communicating, Zoom and WhatsApp, and then a WhatsApp with my kids, a WhatsApp with my daughter-in-law and son and her family, and we have video chats quite often. And I'm getting used to this video chatting thing. I look at I look at myself in these video chats. I'm like, holy cow!
I know, I've got 3 chins, so I feel you. I'm like, whatever.
I know. It's like I look in the mirror and that's not what I see.
Lord, you know what? I can breathe, so we're good, right?
Exactly. And I've created my art. I started last week a book. I take an old book. It's from 1901. Actually, it's small, and I'm doing a collage a day on each page. And I'm going to stop once the stay-at-home orders end, the full stay-at-home, not
right.
The relaxed. And so right now I've been on work from home since the 13th of March. So I think I'm on page 38 or something.
Wow.
And I'm recording. I did collages, and I'm recording like the counts, the cases of the United States and of the world, and I'm making little notes like I talked to this one or I talked to that one. It's just kind of a creative outlet for handling the facts and figures that we get. I'm a fact person. I want to know stuff, but I stop watching the news. I don't watch the news.
So talking to somebody who likes to read and write, and I'm obsessed. I don't do the Kindle thing because I like to have the fingerprints of the excitement of the book. Right. Do you feel that you're being sacrilegious by doing this to this book from 1901? Like my heart's.
Yeah, yes, I'm a bibliotech, is that what they say, or bibliophile as well. No, when you're a collage artist, you just do it. Yeah. Like I'm cutting picture books. I have a lot of like butterfly books and bird books, and it can be viewed as sacrilegious, but it's part of the creative venture.
So is it meditative?
Very meditative. Sometimes I catch myself forgetting that, I have a split second of forgetting that we're in quarantine. So it's a nice release. And going back to books, I also read. So I've been reading, kind of hooked on some Netflix stuff. I've been, doing the marathons of different series. So that's very, very relaxing for me, because it kind of helps me forget.
Yeah.
I'm really sleeping well. I don't know why, because my activity level is not what it should be. But I'm trying to get out to walk. The weather's not quite warm enough for me yet. But once it gets it's 50 degrees today. It's chilly. So. Yeah.
You're up north, right? You're in New England?
No, the Midwest.
The Midwest, that's right. Okay. I am sitting in the mornings here. It's like 60-ish, and it's really quite pleasant. Mm-hmm. But right now, I think we're at 88. So.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a few months of, and
right.
Once rainy season comes, that'll kind of taper down, which will be nice. And then normally it's about 75 degrees here most of the year. So it's really quite pleasant. You just have a couple of months of yuck, a couple of months of snow,
right.
That kind of thing.
Right.
What are the kinds of items that maybe people have in their household that they can start using to collage?
Oh, that's a great question. Magazines, Vanity Fair, people, I'm sure they could use mail, the envelopes from their mail. They can use playing cards as a background. They could use pieces of cardboard. In the mail, you get advertisements that might be of a cardboardy texture. You could use that. If you don't have glue sticks laying around, you can use owner's glue, other types of glue. Sometimes the cutting process is meditative itself.
Yeah.
Cutting out this stuff. If for people who are just starting out probably pick a color theme. So cut out everything that you see in a magazine or a journal, and like red. So red lips, red shoes, red, and put all that together and start out small, maybe a card size or maybe an 8x10. Everybody has cardboard or different things laying around their house. If they're big Amazon, they can cut that piece of the Amazon box. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. If you create something and you don't like it, you could always adjust it later, or you could start another one, but the chances of you liking it are pretty good. I had taught someone online, they made a collage and they said, what do you think? And I said, well, let's do this and make these changes. And it was beautiful. She was happy, and it was a great collage. So
I find that I obsess over getting everything perfect. Is that something that's really an expectation, or is that just in my head?
It's in your head and others' heads. I tend to be a perfectionist as well, but you can tear something. If you don't have a good pair of scissors, you can tear it. I like that finish, actually.
Yeah.
Or you can use, everybody has tea bags. They could take plain white paper and put the tea in a cookie sheet, the tea water rather, and then soak the paper in there. You get a nice antique finish. Different little fun things. Personally, I don't know anyone that wouldn't have glue around, so I think everyone would be able to get a good start.
Well, and I think if you look online, there's also recipes where you can make homemade glue, which I believe is just flour and water. So
right. So or you have something in your tool chest, your tool cabinet that you'd be able to use, like Gorilla Glue or maybe caulking stuff. That's not ideal, but it would work. It's sticking paper to other paper.
I would think that even
the definition of collage.
You could use masking tape, or not masking tape, but the clear shipping tape on top, and you can kind of preserve it, but B,
right.
I get a little frustrated. I'm always tape myself.
Yeah, you just have to do it. You can't do it with like, oh my gosh, I'm going to create a beautiful piece that's going to sell for great money. No, you just create. It's the process, not the finish that you're going for. Very meditative. It's remarkable. And speaking of books, if you have an old book around, you can cut out words or sentences and put those in the collage. You have postage stamps. I've made a collage just out of the back of the envelopes where you take off the stamp.
Oh, really?
Take off the stamp and use that actual square, the envelope part, and I've made a collage with that. So I really like it.
Have you ever done like a 3D kind of collage?
Yes, that's called assemblage, and I have with wood block and rusted metal that I found, just on the ground, and maybe rusted nails, staple gun. I've sold quite a few actually. They're small, but just rusted metal pieces that you find walking around.
There's nothing wrong with a little rust.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect for you, Rustie.
That's right.
And then I also teach some of these things that I'm talking about. I teach the playing cards. I teach collage stress relief. I've done that to a couple of nursing groups. I've taught, the painting parties that you have at with the wine and painting. I teach those as well. That's a lot of fun because I believe everyone is creative and can create. And that I've proved it every time.
I teach the
like, I can't do this. Yeah.
They're fun.
Right. It feels so great. Yeah. And it's fun for me. I get a little nervous. I'm like, oh, this, there's going to be someone that's not going to be happy, but that hasn't happened. I'm very, very proud and pleased with that.
Well,
obviously those
too. I think it's the teacher too.
Yeah, well, thank you. I know how to teach as if you don't know how to do it. Some teachers jump right into as if you know all the steps that got you there in the first place, and you just have to go from the basic up to creating. And then one other thing that you could do with collage is a Altoid tin, a candy tin.
Oh yeah.
You collage the inside and the outside, and you can do it with paper or attach beads or glitter or little miniature things you might have around the house, seashells, things like that. It's a lot of fun. I'll be submitting a proposal to teach a class with the Altoid tins in a couple days.
Really? Are you going to teach it online, or are you going to teach it at a physical location?
It's for prep for physical location.
Got it.
I'm with the Zoom. I'm thinking about how could I teach some of this stuff online.
Yeah.
But I was just in the thought process.
Yay, creation. Isn't that what this time is about, really? If we were to take advantage of this time and stay away from that, the darker part of it, and really create and look at this as an opportunity to enhance your skill set or develop a new skill set. Keeping the mind busy in a positive place, I think, is the most healthy. I was an essential worker until March 28th, when I had to go and have the COVID test because I felt very sick. It was pneumonia, but nonetheless, it was scary. So I've been I've been quarantined, so to speak, less than most people. So I feel very fortunate that, I was able to be an asset and community helper as long as I could.
That's wonderful.
But I haven't done any artwork yet. I've just been rearranging and kind of doing all, I've changed the sink because the sink stopper rusted out. I should have sent it to you. You probably could have made something out of it.
Probably.
So what else are you doing to keep your sanity going? What kinds of recommendations do you have for just like maintaining yourself,
Well, I do take a shower and get dressed every single day. I curled my hair for today, but I don't usually curl my hair. And I make my bed, I do the laundry, housework things. Back when I was a kid, if you never said you were bored to my mom, because she would find stuff for you to do. So, all my drawers are, shipped in tip shop, whatever that.
I know what you're saying.
Shape. Oh my God. And tongue twister. And those kind of basic things. I've had my days. I have to share. I've had my days where I feel sorry for myself and I can't do this anymore, and I just give into it, and I just lay on the couch or just sit, or I just don't think like, what's wrong with me? Why am I feeling this way? I'm just like, okay, I'm having a bad day. Just let it go. That's hard to do at times, to try to fight it.
Yeah.
But I just let it happen. Luckily I've had less of those days than not. But then I'll get on a video call with my kids or something. We had spoken so much over Easter weekend that we didn't have anything to talk about.
Oh, no.
We ran out of stuff to say, so that was kind of cool,
Yeah.
And so it was a video, so we were showing each other some stuff, like as if you're sitting around the house and say, oh, did you see this necklace, or did you see this tie, or that kind of thing. And my son had said, oh, look at what we resorted to. And I said, no, it's just like we're together and you're just showing each other our stuff,
Yeah, I mean, it's you and I are from a generation where we had phones that were connected to the wall.
Right.
If you wanted the TV channel turned, it was always me having to go outside and turn the antenna, right? It wasn't the remote. I was the remote. We actually didn't have TV, but when we had access to TV, I was always the remote. So I think prospectively, this is kind of exciting technology that we've expanded on, because we are able to, I talk to people all over the world all the time. And, you know, years and years and years ago, not that many years, take three of those off. We had to wait a couple of weeks to get our pen pal letter. We had to wait to save enough money, because each minute on the phone costs 5 cents or 10 cents or whatever it was.
Exactly.
You know, if you weren't in the neighborhood or whatever. And so having these resources, it's, whoa.
We're very lucky. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my daughter and son-in-law live in Spain. So the WhatsApp is, or Skype, mostly we use WhatsApp, is fantastic. And then my son and daughter-in-law live in California, so it's the same thing. It's maintaining these long-distance communication.
Yeah.
So we're very fortunate, very fortunate.
We've just changed how we interact, but I think in a lot of ways it's been very productive. You know, during this time period, nobody would, 100 years ago, 50 years ago, 25 years ago, we wouldn't have been able to maintain connection. And I think right now it's more, what's the word I'm looking for?
It's more important than ever, I think.
Yeah, it's more
Maybe
important than ever. Yeah, about that.
Yeah, because to be quarantined, because I'm by myself, you know, which has its pluses, trust me. But if I weren't able to communicate with the outside world, I don't know what I would do. That would be a very helpless and uncomfortable feeling for me.
Well, that's why I wanted to start these videos, because I have a lot of friends I have fans, I have individuals that are connected to me that have bipolar, that have various depression issues. And I don't want people to stay in the dark. Does it make sense?
Right. Oh, totally. Yeah.
And I see an upsurge or an uptick in people feeling even more isolated, even more lonely. And so that's why I'm inviting all my friends to share what you're doing and why you do it, and inspire and excite us, and find creative ways where we don't have to go out into any petri dish right now, and we can find stuff from home to do, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I fortunately don't have those issues, but I feel very sorry for people that do, or they're in a bad home environment to begin with.
Yeah.
It's very critical. In my opinion, they're going to have to really step up mental health care when this is all over. Even for those of us that don't have mental health issues, it's going to be a big adjustment. Really, it is. It's going to have to be. It's just going to have to be ways to solve that. Because just think of being alone all day. And then having to go to work and having to communicate, you know, it's going to be a big adjustment. Just like it was an adjustment on the front end to be by yourself and working.
Well, we had to defragment. We had to rewire ourselves. And again, I'm still in the beginning phases of my isolation, but my daughter fell sick with mono in November-ish, December. Well, we weren't sure what it was until January. So every time I let her out, she got really, really sicker. I think that's a word. So it's late January, I isolated her. I was like, nope, you're not, we've got to get you healthy. And so for the kids, you know, here are the American kids. They are terrified to go to school every day because of school shootings. So they're already stressed and anxious. Yeah. And then this happens. And so it adds to that piece for the kids.
Right.
I don't hear enough conversation about what's going to happen with the kids and their healing. You know, I hear a lot of complaints that, oh, I'm isolated, it's not my right. But and I'm seeing a lot of people dying, but I don't hear people being proactive about doing things to,
Right.
or let me rephrase that, enough people to be proactive that way.
Right.
And quite honestly,
Right.
she's safer at home at this point. So it's kind of, for a parent, you're like, I don't have to worry about
Right.
fees, I don't have to worry about anything. But
Right.
she's a teenager and
Right.
she's going stir crazy. What kinds of things do you think would be, you know, fun for the teens to do? Because, you know, they roll their eyes and they're programmed not to like us for at least 10 more years. Um, what kinds of things are you thinking would be beneficial at this time?
Well, I think art, I think coloring, you know, they have those adult coloring books, or different paper crafts, or I don't know how to knit, but knitting, crocheting, sewing. If anyone that has a sewing machine, it would be a great thing to teach a child. My mother dragged me kicking and screaming, teaching me how to sew back when I was in 7th grade, and I turned out to love it. So, and games, board games. You know, and we're talking about media earlier. I'm not a big fan of the kids on the tablet too much. So you could put a, you know, limit on that time, because then you get into brain development that's gone awry with all of that. It's overuse, not normal use, overuse. And I think if you have the room, you can set up some kind of a hopscotch game or jump rope, or, you know, a way to play ball, you know, maybe just like rollerball or Chinese jump rope. I don't know how you would make one. You know, that takes up a small space. So games, you know, backgammon, some of the old-fashioned games, chess, backgammon, cribbage, rummy, 500 rummy, or they can try to make up their own card game.
War. It's a fun game.
War, yeah. Yeah, it's an easy one too. That is one, like earlier I alluded to the fact that being alone has its positives, which it does, but one of the negatives is I'm dying to play some cards with real cards.
Right.
And or some cribbage, you know.
Yeah.
And online doesn't do it for me, but so that would be a lot of fun, in my opinion. They can learn how to cook. One of the things, I didn't really teach my kids how to cook or sew buttons. They were so busy with school and school activities, that was the focus, doing well in school, and I missed those things. So how to fold a fitted sheet, you know, that those kind of things that people don't learn because you don't have the time.
You don't want to see me fold in a fitted sheet. It looks like this.
Yeah, who cares at that point, right? Yeah, exactly.
That's one of the advantages of being single, is that I don't have to explain why my folded fitted sheets are not really folded, they're just bald.
Exactly. I stuff them into a pillowcase and it becomes a pretend pillow.
That's right.
Yeah.
Call him Romeo.
And another thing kids could learn is letter writing.
Oh, yeah.
Letter writing.
Yep.
Because I posted stamps online, USPS.com, and if you can't get out to the store for stamps, if you don't have envelopes, you can make envelopes out of a book, and you can fold them. You can either figure out how to do it or look online how to do an envelope pattern.
Right.
I think kids need to learn to write letters and thank you cards. That's kind of missing, in my opinion, in the younger group.
Well, that's what we started doing. A friend of mine, Bonnie, gave me 10 or 20,000 cards, thank you cards, because she donates to all these organizations, and she has for years, and they send her free cards and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, here, take them.
Right.
So I actually posted on my social media, if you want me to send you a card, leave me your address in a private box, and I'll mail you a personalized card. And it's really been fun because we don't really like when we open up mail now, it's usually disappointing. Like you owe somebody money, or somebody's trying to sell you car insurance and you already have it. It's not really exactly what it used to be when we were younger, where it was like, oh, I missed blah, blah, blah. And so it was kind of fun to renew that old school communication.
Totally. Right. That's why I like the monthly playing card exchange, because I get mail from all over the world, like all the time. I don't check my mail. I check my mail like every 4 or 5 days now. So I get that feeling every 4th or 5th day. But, you know, I'm not getting just a bill or some junk flyer. I'm getting mail with actual substance. So I think kids, I think that's a really good idea for kids to do is even pen pals.
Yeah.
You probably did pen pals, right?
Yep.
Those kind of things. I mean, the kids can't possibly be doing schoolwork all the time. There's like no way. If they like reading, that's great, but not. I mean, the e-learning, I'm all for it. I don't know how they can do it for too long of a period of time, because even adults, you can't really sit and concentrate on anything more than 45 minutes. So how are they able to even learn and concentrate for that period of time?
Yeah.
So I think building in coloring breaks, and, you know, even if you just like clean the junk drawer, think, you know, really things like that.
I called that math class.
You what?
I called that math class. Clean the junk drawer. Little math.
Yeah.
Got some measuring to do. And then we went to Tupperware and we played Tetris.
Right. So that's just kind of what I do. It's other people do different things, but this works for me. I haven't gone out. I haven't socialized. I haven't seen anyone. I haven't been to the store for like 3 weeks. So I'm afraid of how I'm going to act when I actually see a person.
I know. I'm going to be like,
you know, I'm a hugger.
Bag. Don't breathe on me.
I know. I'm a hugger, so I'm not going to be able to hug. So that's going to be a change. You know, at work we have 2 video conferences a week, which is really nice to connect that way. We talk about business. We talk about what we've learned. We talk about what tricks like you and I are talking about, or maybe a positive thing that you're doing during this quarantine period.
Yeah.
So that's important. Yeah. I've also been listening to the radio. I listen to NPR a lot, but I also listen to a station. It's called The Drive, and it's playing all the old rock music that I like. And I try to dance a little because I'm not getting enough movement.
Yeah.
So I try to dance, you know, a little bit. I will be getting out to walk more because that takes a good hour.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, we are coming to the end of our time. We've actually exceeded it, but I think that's okay. I think I still can upload the video. Do you have contact information that you want to give out? Do you have a website or anything like that?
I'm happy to give my email address, which you can contact me if you're interested in any of those art projects I talked about. It's planetcollage@gmail.com, PLANETCOLLAGE@gmail.com. I have a web address, but it's not set up. You can find me on Instagram. And then I have 3 Facebook groups actually. I have planetcollage.net. I have the monthly International Playing Card group, and I also have Celiac Queen group on Facebook. So you can contact me any of those ways. I'd love to hear from you. We're always trying to expand that monthly group to get more, just to get our art out there in the world.
Yay!
So thank you so much for having me on, and great seeing you. I'll send you a card.
Thanks, Love Bug. I promise I won't wash it for at least 5 years, okay?
No worries, it happens.
All right, love.
Bye.
Stay healthy.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, Rustie.
You're watching Living and Thriving with Rustie, and that was my friend LuEllen. And her information will be located down here, over here, wherever I decide to put it, but it'll be around the box somewhere. Remember, there's so much that you can do right now from the comfort of your own home, from the safety of your own home. And these are activities that you can actually do as a family. I think it's absolutely fantastic and fun to sit there with my daughter and do something. And we haven't really had the time to do that over an extended period of time. So now we're getting back into the groove of having those moments, because you get to learn a lot about each other and about what's going on. And those are connections that I'm really excited about remaking. Know that you're loved, know that you're beautiful, and do something kind for somebody. I cannot stress the fact of just sending out cards to people. Make them and then send them. How cool is that? Anyway, until next time,